And right now it is 13 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Tuesday morning, and I'm so glad to have you listening. And we have someone here that we're going to find out about it. His name is Craig Toney. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here this morning.
Thank you so much. Now, you're kind of new to our area, is that right?
Yes, ma'am, I am. We moved here last year in July, though I do go back a little bit, played baseball here for the Sulphur Springs Eagles back in 1987. So there's a little bit of history with Sulphur Springs.
Wow. Sulphur Springs Eagles.
Yes, that was an American Legion baseball team coached by Ronnie Russell back then, and it was played one summer here, and it was awesome.
We're so glad to have that little bit of history to add to your newest title. Now, you came to Sulphur Springs ISD in a job last year.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And you're currently the?
I'm currently the ESL Bilingual Dual Language Coordinator for the district.
Okay, and that's important all year round, but especially right now.
Yes, it is. We have our dual language program, and basically my job is responsible for all of our English language learners. So we have kids coming in that English is their second language, and I'm responsible to make sure those kids are taken care of. Our teachers are trained and equipped to take care of them, and that we serve them well like we do all of our kids at Sulphur Springs ISD. But our dual language program is a special lane of that. Okay. And that's what we're here to talk about this morning, I think. And so we're excited about that.
Because the second and I suppose last round of Roundup for students new to ISD is coming up.
Yes, it is, May 5th through 7th from 8:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon. One of those days, we're going to be open late. I think that's May the 5th till 6:30. Those are Kinder Roundup days, and that's for all students coming in that are new to kindergarten this year, that were like at our local pre-Ks or local private pre-Ks, or kids that didn't go to pre-K. They can come get registered and get ready to start for school. And in the process of doing that, they can also register for our amazing dual language program.
Okay, amazing dual language, and that is right. And there's so many benefits to that, but it is so important to field who all is coming in and how many, etc.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. We love the program. I came here from Mount Pleasant ISD. I was a principal there for 4 years. Prior to that, I was a principal in Dangerfield for 3 years. And Mount Pleasant was a dual language campus. Dangerfield, where it was, did not offer that program. And to see those kids in that dual language program thrive the way they did, not just our English language learners, but there's also a side where our English speaking kids learn Spanish.
Yes.
And that's the cool part of that program, is by the time they're through 5th grade, we want them to be able to read, write, and speak Spanish fluently, just like we want our native Spanish speakers to speak English, read English, and write English fluently by the time they're in 5th grade. That's amazing.
That is a great goal.
Absolutely.
Well, so let's say our young ones who speak English and raised in English homes, can they opt to take dual language?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. It's open to every kindergartner. At this point, we have not had to have a waiting list or a lottery pick to see who gets in. We can handle about 40 kids right now. Our dual language is housed on Travis Elementary's campus right now. And we can hold about 40 English kids to match them up. And I hope for the day when there are so many kids wanting to get in, so many parents wanting to get their kids in, that we have to make some decisions about what do we do now, because it is an amazing program. And so, yes, our English, any of our English-speaking kids coming in that want to be a part of the dual language program, all they have to do is fill out their application, which they can do at Kinder Roundup. They can also do by just calling the school or coming by the administration office, and we can get them fixed up.
Well, I know right now it's pretty essential to know that parents who have students new to the ISD that are in kindergarten through 3rd need to be at the Roundup before the deadline. And another round is going to be May 5th through 7th, but you need an appointment to get in on those dates.
Yes, you can get those by calling ahead of time. We do take walk-ins. That is something, but it just makes the process go so much smoother if they call ahead of time. And just call the administration building at 903-885-2153 and just ask for information about Kinder Roundup, and they will get you set up and get you signed up. Those time slots are good. Nobody likes to wait in really, really long lines for anything. Everybody likes to be smooth, and so we try to schedule those appointments to where they can come in and have their time with all of our amazing team to sit down and make sure they've got all of their health information, make sure they've got their residence information, dual language information, and help them get registered and set up for a great school year.
Okay, so the roundup is important, but as the summer comes on and the fall semester starts, there may be others who come into our community and they'll be dealt with.
Absolutely. We take registrations all the time. Even while school's going on, we have new kids moving in, but all summer long, it's just important to get them in. It helps them where the kids can be prepared to know where their campus is going to be, where their teacher's going to be, and the earlier we get them signed up, the earlier we get them in the application process, the registration process, the quicker we can get them processed and through.
Does our school system anticipate a larger number of students in this coming year?
I don't know that we anticipate a larger number. I think that the trends have been pretty stable. The difference this year is COVID, hopefully it's kind of getting under control. And so last year where we had a lot of students that chose to do the virtual route, which stayed at home for a while and did their school there for the first 9 weeks or some even the second 9 weeks. Right now, our numbers are so small that we expect a lot more kids to start back on campus in August.
Right.
So it'll be much more like the previous year, not 2020, where we have a full slate of kids on campus, which we love so much. We understand the dynamics of COVID and how it worked, but man, it's just difficult to replace face-to-face teacher-to-kid learning in a classroom. So we're really working hard to get back to that.
And it is the same with grown-ups too. Face-to-face conversation, face-to-face interaction is really important.
Absolutely.
And as we've sort of stayed away from other people, I think we begin to miss that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we think about kids learning. A big part of our dual language program is kids just getting immersed in the language. So you've got, English kids getting immersed in Spanish for a couple of periods a day. You've got Spanish kids getting immersed in English a couple of periods a day. So when you take that part of it out, you pretty much remove that environment for them to really get immersed in that language. And so we're excited to have another year ready. Hopefully we're as normal as possible this year to get that rolling.
Well, you came from being principal in some other school districts, and now you're in a specific area that you teach and oversee. So the dual language program, and has that been exciting for you?
Absolutely, it's been exciting for me. I just became a huge believer in the dual language program when I saw what it did for kids, not just in language acquisition, but also in their academic development. The campus I just left in Mount Pleasant, when the kids that were going through our dual language program, not only were they learning a new language, but by the time they got in 3rd and 4th grade, they were the kids that were really excelling on state STAR tests and things like that. So there's just something amazing about learning a new language in the process that it seems like it just activates and fires your entire brain, and just everything gets elevated, everything picks up. And so I'm very excited to be a part of that program. And right now we're in the process of building the program through 5th grade. Right now our kids, what we call our two-way kids, which are English and Spanish mixed together, learning both languages. Right now that's at 2nd grade. Next year we'll bump it to 3rd, and then the following 2 years we'll go to 4th and 5th until we have a full K through 5 program. So it's excited to be in the process of building that and helping build that here at Sulphur Springs. Well,
in building that, having all that added duty for you to do and to learn and process as you go, coming back from COVID, I won't say this is reconstruction from what our previous year has been, but there is a lot of new ways of maybe putting in place.
Oh, there is. We learned a lot in COVID. We learned a lot about, some things that we did during COVID we're not going to do away with now. I mean, we learned how to really utilize some technology pieces that, for instance, maybe we weren't using as much because it's in face-to-face time. Maybe it's not as necessary, but we learned the value of some of those pieces. So now we're able to come back and say, okay, we really like the way this worked. We liked using this tool. We liked using this element of technology. Let's continue to do that. So there were some things that we found that we were able to pull in and use tremendously, but also it's really made us appreciate that time face-to-face with those kids. Yeah. Well,
in hashing these ideas out, do the school system hold meetings where you
oh yes,
discuss?
Constant during COVID. I don't think I'm in on some of those meetings. Some of those I'm not in. But they're constantly having meetings, just really like we do all the time, because our aim at the district is just to continue to get better at what we do. I think Sulphur Springs can be very proud of their school district, coming from others, coming from around others, but I really think our passion here is to make it a school district for just our city, our community, our region to be proud of, and to be a model district for people around to say, wow, that's where I'd love for my kids to be.
Great. Oh, I would love to hear that too.
Absolutely.
And we will be. Tell me other things that you see in your future now here in Sulphur Springs for just 1 year as bilingual ESL dual language director, and the teachers that also teach this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, right now, moving forward, we really want to be really good at what we do. It's an intense program. It's an intense program for our teachers because they have a whole lot of components, because not only are they just teaching academics, they still have to teach kids to read. They still have to teach kids to write and do math and science and social studies, but they're also helping these kids learn a new language. And so you can take, all the teachers in our dual language program have 2 lanes they're running in all the time and meshing those lanes together. And they have extra training they do. A lot of our teachers in our dual language program are actually bilingual certified, which means they are fluent in both languages, and getting that certification from the state of Texas is not easy either. It's a challenging test and a challenging certification to get that, but our teachers work hard to get that bilingual certification. They work hard to get trained. We continue to update them. We use a model in our program called the Gomez and Gomez model, which is crafted by 2 brothers that were excellent educators. Dr. Richard Gomez was an instructor at Texas Tech for a while, for 6 or 7 years, after being an incredibly great high school teacher. Then he went to Washington State and oversaw their whole program for their state, and now he's back here. And he was just on campus last week, as a matter of fact, kind of just looking at things, giving us some consults. So that's kind of the model we follow, and our teachers are always undergoing new stuff. So as we build forward, that's what we want to do, have great teachers teaching great kids that results in great success.
Well, earlier in our discussion, you used the word immersion. So is there a time that teacher has the children and she holds up one item, let's say orange, and then this is what, Noranga?
Yes, exactly right. Very good. The way the program is set up, the kids in kindergarten and first grade will learn to read and write in their native language. Okay. So our English speakers, when they get language arts, they're learning to read and write, they do straight English. Our Spanish speakers, primarily where that's their native language, they're learning to read and write in their native language. Okay. But the immersion happens this way, when this math is always taught in English. So when a kid walks into a math room, they're going to hear English. There's no translation. It's straight English. When our kids go to science and social studies, it's all Spanish. So that's where the immersion happens. And the way they navigate that and the way they work together is the program is built on using what we call bilingual partners, which means we will pair a native English speaker with a native Spanish speaker. And those 2 buddies help each other navigate. So for instance, if they're in a class and the teacher is teaching something and our primary English speaker's like, I don't understand what she said, this is science, they can turn to their bilingual partner and ask them, okay, what are they saying? So they learn really to communicate with each other. They learn to understand, and just being in that environment, it's just like, us being dropped off in a country or a place where we didn't speak that language. Yes. You have to learn to navigate that, and they do super well with that. And they learn great communication skills because they're working together from the time they're in pre-K and kinder all the way through. So when we see these kids in 4th and 5th grade, when they're paired for partner work, they just know how to do it. And so it really gives them a life skill that will carry on their entire lives. I've been learning how to cooperate and work with people.
That is so very interesting. And there's so much more that we could talk about, but you know what? The clock says we're almost out of time.
Yes, ma'am.
Craig Toney, you are a delight to talk with.
Thank you very much.
And there's lots we'd like to have you come back and tell us about as school gets underway and the new school year of 21-22, which is what all the plans are for right now.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure this morning.
Will you come back and visit?
Absolutely, I will.
Thank you, Craig.
You bet.